my stuff away. Hey guys, welcome back to Vanishing Dates. As always, I am your host into the 40 and the unexplained, Jay. And with me, as always, are my sidekicks.
Welcome back to Vanishing Dates. As always, I am your host.
I don't know what just happened there. We are experiencing even better technical difficulties. Let's try that. All right. Perfection. Hopefully there's no echo on the line then. Oh, Lord, it's one of those days. Guys, I've been camping, so I'm not even really here right now. I am, but I'm not. I'm going to be done with the show and drive 45 minutes back to the campground.
Let's check with Aaron. Aaron, any problems with the sound? Just let us know real quick. Because Facebook just made some changes, and it's being really obnoxious already.
So, who are you again? I am Jay, and this is,
Hold on. Give me like 2 seconds. The amazing Jack.
And this is, Paco Dandy. All right, guys, so we're going to talk about the audio is messed up on
The amazing Jack.
Okay, well, let's see what we do here. All right, guys, so we're going to talk about...
That's not really the news that we wanted to hear.
Maybe we should just record this and post it after the fact.
Could you tell us what's happening exactly?
You know, it's almost like they do it like about like every 2 months. They want to change something up and update everything, and it really kind of throws us for a loop. We really don't realize this until when we do the show.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, we have a Patreon account.
Okay, so.
Guys, there's a ghost in the machine.
Okay, so.
Jack, you're the technical guy here.
Aaron said a couple of things. What did Aaron say? There's an echo.
I don't know. Okay, this is great. Anyway, the feedback is messed up. I don't know why we're having feedback at all.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Okay. All right. Guys, I'm sorry about this. This is great. Wait, sorry about this. What are we doing here? Communications. This is the first time. This particular problem happens. We're
Well, I mean,
3 minutes into the show already.
well, you know, Facebook, you know, like I said, you know, they want to do different things and they want to update everything, you know, and by the time we end up, it's not like we do a show on a daily basis. It's, you know, when we first start the show, you know, we don't do a pre-recording or anything like that. So, you know, we come into these difficulties.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna. Oh man, I love this. This is the best part about being an unprofessional guy and not knowing what you're doing.
Well, we gotta apologize real quick to our guest.
Yeah, we have a guest on the line. Sorry, Rex. We'll get to that.
So just in case, if it does,
Facebook literally hates us right now.
No, they do that. Here. What about that?
she said it's stopping. What did she say?
What? Is it stop finally?
I think she said it
Well,
is
how about
stopping
now?
sometimes, but most of the time it's loud. AF.
Hold on.
All right.
Oh, I get it.
What?
There's a whining noise for some reason from somewhere.
It's better. We fixed it. Okay, good. We're back on. Hallelujah.
Perfect.
All right, okay, we just fixed it. I had the desktop audio up. I guess I thought it was off. So yeah,
All the professionalism you expect from
right
Vanishing
here,
Dates.
it's Vanishing Dates. I'm your host Jay. This is Jack and Paco, and we are ridiculous. So
The Ridiculous 3.
we're gonna do cigar of the show. Don Logo.
Dawn logo. Now I want to go ahead and point this out that
That's Lugo.
Jack.
Is it Lugo?
Yes, it's Lugo.
Beautiful.
It all. You know, I guess it matters on perspective.
It says Lugo. It's not perfected. It just says it.
But I would like to point out that Jay is not participating in the cigar of the show today,
Or the alcohol of the show.
or the alcohol of the show, which is good. You know, I'm proud of him. You know, much respect.
It's not that I don't want it. I'm gonna have some when I get to my campsite.
Well, absolutely.
Absolutely.
He's got to drive. You know, it's totally understandable.
All right, we
But
got
I
a
mean,
delay. Let's get
nicotine-
right on.
All right. Anyway, so
Come on. on.
We also want to mention our buddy Jason at Cotton Studios. You can check him out on Facebook. He makes some really, really cool art pieces for Halloween. Really cool props, wall stuff. It's super awesome. And we have a new sponsor, Pro Prism Design. So go to proprismdesign.com or email Jamie Howe at proprismdesign@mail.com. Not Gmail, mail.com. I can't even say that straight.
At mail.com. That just doesn't
It's
even
just
sound
at mail.
right.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
At.com, huh?
Does t-shirts, promo items, logos, embroidery, whatever you can think of. Go check her stuff out and tell her Vanishing Gate sent you. It'd be doing us a favor, doing her a favor. It'd be really good.
Absolutely.
So that said,
Good times.
enough delay. We do have a guest here tonight. We're very excited to have him on. Anybody?
I got goosebumps actually.
Rex Williams.
From?
I mean, what's the specific?
He was on Destination Truth. That's how I know him, right?
I think that's how we all know him here. You still there, Rex?
No, I've already hung up long ago.
I was worried that you might have got the impression we don't know what we're doing, because we really don't.
That wasn't the audio problem. That was just me hanging up.
That's what when Rex hangs up his phone. So I'm going to get the phone as close to the microphone here as I can so they can hear you, because it's just how it works for us. So for those who don't know, why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself, Rex? What's your favorite color?
Oh, this interview's going to go swimmingly. I can already tell.
yeah, we're great. So what essentially got you into the paranormal, the unexplained, the cryptozoological? Was it working on the show, or was it prior?
No, it was actually prior. I was always kind of fascinated with cryptids, strange phenomenon. As a young kid, I enjoyed the show In Search of with Leonard Nimoy. I don't know if anybody recalls that. I don't think you're as old as I am, but it was basically one of the first cryptid shows. And I remember seeing a Loch Ness Monster episode and the Bigfoot episode, which scared the hell out of me. The Loch Ness Monster specifically was pretty cool because I was really into science. I love dinosaurs. I read about every science book in our school library. I think I was the only nerd to do that at the time. But I was really fascinated with dinosaurs, and one time I wanted to be a paleontologist. I was a young boy, and so when I saw this episode of In Search of, it resembled one of the dinosaurs that I had studied in the books, and I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. Can you imagine, a dinosaur still, living and with us, with human beings to this day. It just kind of sparked something in me. It's hard to explain. It's like there's some kind of pivotal point where you have this fascination even as a child with something that really catches your eye and you really love, and then there's something happens and it just like kind of changes your whole the whole kind of outlook on your life, like what you want to do, and so that was something I didn't want to go to school for so long to be a paleontologist. I really loved medicine as well, which is kind of why I went into paramedicine and nursing. But I always kept that fascination with that as kind of a side hobby, and I study on it and read the latest journals and kind of keep abreast of everything. And so, to kind of keep a long story short, something I just always kind of held on to, even through my childhood and until my adulthood. And when I had the chance, I just happened to run across this show called Destination Truth on the Sci-Fi Channel. And I watched the first couple seasons. I loved it. And then, I started working as a medic, as a set medic, down in LA, and acquired an agent. And, one day I got a call from my agent saying, hey, I got a production company that's looking for a medic. And so they said it's going to involve a lot of traveling internationally. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm game for that. Let's do it. And then he said, you're going to be on camera as well. And I was like, oh my God, I think I know what show this is. It's the show I've been watching for 2 seasons. Holy cow. So, and when I found out eventually who it was, I was just like, I was floored. I couldn't even believe it. It was like right up my alley. So I was pretty excited. It just, things kind of fell in the right place. I was in the right place at the right time, and everything kind of worked out.
That's really awesome, man. It was very serendipitous, it seems like. So.
Oh yeah, well, damn it! I just realized that was really long-winded of me. Damn it! Sorry about that, guys.
No, not at all, man.
You're totally fine.
People are watching the show right now to listen to you, not to us messing up audio and stuff.
Absolutely.
Which I promise it never happens. It's like I say that every time I meet a new girl. Okay, so so you were on seasons 4 and 5, right?
Yes, yeah, season 4 and 5.
What
No,
was
I'm sorry.
what?
No, I'm sorry. Season 3 and 4.
3 and 4. Okay,
Sorry about
I couldn't
that.
remember exactly which seasons you were on. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's so awesome, man, to be able to travel and explore and go to those crazy places. Like.
Yeah, it really was, man, and it's kind of one of those things where, I mean, I would have never been able to do that on my own. Like, not in a million years would I have been able to afford to go to 40 countries, in a couple of years. And see the things I've seen. And I mean, I come from a small town in Central California, near Fresno. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of Fresno, California.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, it's a lot of agricultural base. It's a small town, and it's not very big, and compared to LA or San Francisco or San Diego. And I here I am from the small town, and one night I'm staying the night in King Tut's tomb in Egypt, and with his mummy like right behind me. It's like, it was just surreal. It was just like I'm in a dream. So you can imagine just kind of the rush of all of that was coming from a small town and not really having any show background or anything like that. So yeah, it was pretty amazing.
What's one of your favorite, or what was one of the things that you guys did that really stood out in your mind? You just always think back on and go, damn, that was intense. Something that you can go, you found something really cool, or even if you didn't find something really cool, or like what you were looking for, you had just such the greatest experience finding out what was actually, or if it was what you were, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, there's a couple of them that, a lot of people have asked me, like, what's my favorite, investigation I've done on Destination Truth, and there's a few of them where they ask me what's my favorite country that I went to on the show, and I'd have to say honestly, Bhutan and Egypt were my two favorites. Bhutan just because of the people are just incredibly. I mean, everywhere we went, the people were incredible, very welcoming to us Americans, but Bhutan with the Himalayas and Egypt with just the rich history. I mean, those were my two favorites, and I think the kind of strange things that were happening in Egypt, like that started happening the moment we unlocked the gate to go down into the tomb. I mean, that was just like nuts. I mean, that stuff I just can't explain away. But Bhutan was my favorite just because of the beauty, and it was cool because the evidence we got with the hair sample that came back, when we came back to States, we had it tested DNA analysis, and it came back as an unknown type primate. So meaning that it's a primate, but has not been cataloged yet in their database. So, I mean, pretty outstanding, pretty intense evidence that we did pick up at that place. But I mean, as far as personal, like, I don't know if we can. Are we allowed to cuss on the radio?
Yeah, you're fine. This is a.
Probably not.
I own it. You're fine. Say whatever you want.
I just caught myself because it scared the S out of me. I mean, I'll just put it that way. When we were in Thailand and we were investigating the haunted temple, haunted jungle temple, and it was the Pret episode, and I got physically manhandled, I guess.
Oh wow.
By something unseen. To the point where it felt like hands around my throat, squeezing as hard as it could, yet there was nothing there. I mean, that scared the S out of me, and I honestly did not want to go back in that place like for the rest of the night. I mean, I was done. I mean, it affected me so much. I could imagine the same way that it did with Evan when he got thrown in Romania from the circle in the forest, the Haunted Forest episode. I mean, he was affected by that for a long time. This affected me for a long time. I didn't want to really go back, and it was kind of a good thing because that was our last episode that we filmed of that season. So after that, we were coming back. So luckily for me, we didn't have any more investigations after that, filming that episode. But I mean, I don't know if you've seen that episode, but I'm sitting in the temple in one of the buildings that was used for the priests to get ready for their ceremonies, and that's kind of where they don their robes and go through their rituals before their main ceremony. And we were doing an EVP session and whatnot, and we heard footsteps coming down one of the hallways, and so the guys that I was with, Gabe and Chris, they go to investigate and lead me there. I was going to go ahead and continue with the EVP session alone, and which is never a good thing, by the way. Don't ever do, anybody listening, don't do an EVP session by yourself. Don't ever go out and investigate by yourself.
That's what I was gonna say. They just kind of left you there, like, later, Rex, we'll be back.
Yeah.
You know what? One thing you may fall into some kind of portal to hell, and nobody will ever see you again. The other thing is something legit could really happen to you, and it's just it goes the same lines with doing anything out by yourself. Where you're traveling or like going out in the woods, or you just don't go by yourself. You always use a buddy system.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that's what that's like one party you'll never come back from.
Yeah.
You know?
So, but I mean, back to the story. I was sitting there alone and continuing on, and I remember distinctly asking, am I in danger, or are we in danger here? And the moment I said that, I felt like I thought it was one of the guys coming back just screwing with me, but it felt like hands around my throat, from behind. So your immediate reflex action is to reach up and grab the hands that are around your throat, and there was nothing there. So and it squeezed tighter and tighter and tighter, and to the point where I was like gagging and ended up throwing up. I was like puking. It got my Adam's apple and stimulated that response. So, I mean, I was coughing and gagging and throwing up, and then the guys come running because they hear me, they hear the commotion, and I'm just like, and then just like let go. Like as soon as they got back, it was boom, gone. Like all the pressure was off my neck. I was back to normal, and by that time I was like stumbling and staggering out of the building of the temple, and I was like, we radioed Josh and told him what happened, and he's like, you okay? And take a break, whatever you need to do, because he's always concerned with us, as his teammates. So we always come first. But that was a pretty intense thing for me, and I had never experienced any kind of. I always heard about stories, people reporting, being touched or shoved or hair pulled or scratched, but I never myself experienced something like that until that moment, and so that was kind of a like what that's being scientific minded and needing a lot of evidence and being somewhat of a skeptic but having open mind. I just could not explain it away. It wasn't anything medical. I didn't swallow a bug. I didn't have an asthma attack. I didn't, it just wasn't any of that. It was something that I could not even explain to this day.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's got to stick with you. That probably gave you night sweats and nightmares for quite a while.
That is pretty intense. I had an experience back when I was a kid, and I'm actually quite happy that it was when I was a kid, because to be able to remember the experience, I think, would be pretty traumatizing. But I ended up waking up out of a sleep with like a complete handprint like on my arm. Like there was the house that we lived in when I was a kid was very haunted. We called in like investigators and stuff like that. And we had like 2 or 3 investigators come through, and to have something like that, I mean, it's pretty freaky, and you really don't know what to think of it, and you really don't know what to make of it, and I'm kind of thankful that I don't remember, but at the same time, it'd be nice to, because it would feel more like my story instead of somebody else telling me what my story is,
So I take it you won't be going back there anytime soon.
No, not at all. I mean, I'll be going back to Thailand for sure, but I won't be visiting that location.
Okay, so
My God.
just in case we ever get to go, I need to know what temple that is so I can make Jack go in there alone.
We don't call him captain for nothing.
So,
Yeah, have fun with that. Let me know how it goes.
yeah, right. I don't think I even want to go.
Real quick, I want to hop in real quick with Jay before we continue on. With all of our fans out there, please do not forget to drop a like and a share. And I'm not sure where to find you on Facebook or anything. Would you like to do some shameless plugging?
You know what? Before you do, though, I do have you on Twitter. And for all of our fans out there, you can find Rex Williams at Rex_Williams. And that's on his Twitter page. Feel free to, start following him and, share your stories and comment on what he has to say as well.
Yeah, let's just fill his Twitter page with nonsense. It's great.
Yeah,
Anyway.
awesome. And anybody who's listening and enjoying the show, just make sure you go on Twitter and tweet to me just the emoji with the middle finger up, so I'll know it's from the show.
Yes.
I like how you said fans, so we have fans.
Oh, I know. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Vanishers. Rex, we don't have fans. We don't have viewers. We have vanishers.
He said it again. All right. Anyway, so that was intense experiences. You guys went to some crazy places. What's another one that stands out in your mind? That just kind of blew your mind.
Gosh, there's so many. But God, those are my favorite. I mean, definitely Egypt, Bhutan, and Thailand. Easter Island was pretty amazing just because of the history there and the remoteness. I think Chernobyl was pretty intense. I mean, that was probably one of the most intense investigations I ever done, just because of the real, in your face, legit danger of that investigation. That really stood out in my mind. And the prep for that was, we were taking, iodine to protect ourselves from radiation. Before we went in, we all had, chugged our iodine drinks and tablets and it was, we donned our radiation suits, and that was a legit danger of radiation poisoning. We had to sign a waiver. Jael was like, I want to have a kid later on in my life. I don't want this radiation exposure. You know what I mean? So it was really kind of dicey and sketchy. And for what it was, we got some pretty good, decent evidence. I got some good stuff on the thermal at the school on the second level. We got a hit on the thermal cam and kind of everything that happened. But we're walking around these old decrepit buildings that nature's pretty much just kind of taken over because it's everybody's gone. It's a ghost town, and there's like wolves that come, packs of wolves that run through the city.
Wow.
Bears. There's it's just overgrown. It's really scary. And I think in fact there was a movie that came out not too long ago that was based off of our investigation.
Nice.
There, which was pretty cool. I don't remember what exactly
It wasn't the Chernobyl Diaries, was it?
But I don't know if you guys can think of it. It was like a horror.
Was it the Chernobyl Diaries, that found footage one or whatever?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay. That was actually based on your investigation there?
Yeah, that was based on our. They kind of got the idea from our investigation.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's great.
Spoiler alert: you weren't attacked by a horde of zombie people, were you?
No, I think they kind of threw that in there for some fun, but I was kind of expecting it. I was really not expecting that to happen. Kind of the whole night, and I guess we all kind of look like zombies by the end of the night. In the dark, moaning and groaning, but they or glowing even. But just the legit. We had our Geiger counters, and we had our radiation recorders, sensors, and it measures the dose that we get, and we were hitting some pretty high areas of radiation. And it was interesting is a lot of it was like in the vegetation and the groundwater because it's seeped down, to the aquifer, and it's being brought back up by the plants. So there'll be cracks of like cracks in the cement of the sidewalks and the walkways in town, and it'll be cool. The cement's kind of there to cover it, any radiation exposure, but any cracks that's in the cement and there's like moss and plant weeds growing out of it, those tested super high levels of radiation. So, when they say don't step on a crack, break your mother's back, I mean, this was like, you're going to have your balls shrivel up, You're going to start glowing at night because you're having radiation. I mean, that was like, just having to be so tactful and careful in that setting, that environment, and try to do a top-notch investigation at the same time was like really challenging for us.
I can't imagine. Between the wild animals and I've read a bit about Pripyat here and there, but
I actually, Chernobyl is one of my all-time favorite things to research, and because I always thought, I love the idea that nature takes over, and when you look at pictures of that place, it's not a joke. Nature took back what it lost.
Wasn't that from Godzilla?
No.
The remake?
No. That was not where I got that from.
Pretty sure that was from Godzilla.
It started from when I was actually in, when I was living in Fort Bragg. They had a place called Glass Beach, and it had glass from a trash bill. And the glass was softened up and turned to like a rocky form that you could see through. It looked like rocks, like awesome rocks. Well, people took them all. And the trash that was there is all gone because the ocean beat it to death. And so I started looking up places that nature had taken back, and Chernobyl came up. And the only place is the elephant's foot, where nature will never go because everything dies within I don't know how close you could get to that thing before you basically suffer from an overdose of radiation.
The reactor?
Yeah, I think it's reactor.
I don't know, Rex. How close did you get to the reactor?
we actually got fairly close. Now the reactor itself is pretty well secured. I mean, it's in a sarcophagus. It's surrounded a sarcophagus. I mean, they just dumped cement. They just encased the whole thing in cement. The cement casing is like 30 feet thick of cement, so it's like pretty secure. Unless there's like an earthquake or something, I guess it might crack it open or whatnot. But there wasn't any radiation from the site, from the reactor site itself, because it was just so buried. I mean, that's all they could do. They couldn't do anything else. They just buried it, and then secured it. But in the surrounding areas like Pripyat and town of Pripyat that we went to, that was that's got more radiation exposure that, like I said, seep down into the aquifer and then in the water table, and it kind of stays there. It doesn't really go anywhere, and it just kind of circulates underground. And like I said, the vegetation kind of brings it back up to the surface. So there was areas. Oh, and also, there was some vehicles and tanks and stuff like that. From back then, and those would hold on to the radiation as well. So there was only a few feet that we could actually come in proximity to those items, those vehicles, before we were like, okay, it's time to get back now.
I've heard about people like taking stuff home, souvenirs and stuff home, and getting radiation disease from it, just from having.
No, in fact, we were really worried about that because the United States, they do, at least I know we do in our country. I'm not sure about other countries, but the U.S. Customs, any of the borders that you're going to cross, they have radiation sensors just for like dirty bombs and whatnot. So we were really afraid that we've been there, coming back, we're all tired. We just want a damn cheeseburger. We've been out of the United States for 3 months, and we're going to be walking through the LAX, and all of a sudden we're going to be getting met with freaking SWAT team with their guns drawn on us, and having us hit the floor. So
next thing you know, you're getting waterboarded.
Right, like gunny sacks, thrown over our heads and escort out on a van, and who knows what.
Yeah. I don't remember, but I believe there's still some people that actually live on the far outskirts of Pripyat, don't they? Or outside of Chernobyl? I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's people.
Definitely. There's different perimeters, and the closer you get into the site itself, the reactor site, you have to go through different checkpoints, and even though they knew we were kind of going to be going through there, they were really, really strict. I mean, we had to show them every single document, make sure everybody matched. I mean, they were super. The security level was super high, and but yeah, there's people within those boundaries that still live, and it's kind of nuts. I mean, I mean, one of the guys we talked to was like, "Here, have some vodka. I made it. Here, let's talk about Chernobyl and what happened." And this guy was like, "I'm not going to leave. Stay there." So, this vodka very. I mean, how did you make this vodka?
Yeah, that'd be my question.
Exactly.
Where'd you get the water for this?
Process.
I don't think distilling gets rid of nuclear reactivity.
Yeah.
No.
Why is this vodka green and glowing like that?
Now, I had another question. I know a lot of people, they talk about ghost towns, but that is an actual ghost town pretty much.
With ghosts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who would have thunk?
Yeah, definitely.
That
Yeah,
must have,
absolutely. You know, and one of my other favorite ghost towns was actually Lenoria in Chile. That was pretty amazing. I don't know if you saw that episode, but that's the one where we stumbled across the old cemetery up on the hill where a lot of the erosion from rains and whatnot, and this is out in the middle of the desert, but I mean they still get rain, and some of the erosion had opened up and kind of unmasked or unfaced some of these graves, and there had also been grave robbing and stuff at that time. So you just walk around and literally there's like half buried coffins with skeletons like looking at you like hi.
Wow.
And,
I think I did see that episode.
Talk about creepy. We're walking around trying not to step on somebody's hand and crushing their bones, and and be very super respectful at the same time. It's we didn't want to set foot in there. We were afraid we're going to damage something or disturb something.
Yeah.
But it was just like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Like this is crazy. So, but yeah, that was another one of my favorites. That was pretty. I never experienced anything like that either.
That's insane. I can imagine Gates' reaction going over there being the archaeologist, like not wanting to mess with anything, just freaking out. Everything's open. Hackles up. So
yeah. We were all kind of talking like, oh my God, like we couldn't believe. It was really sad. Not to be a Debbie Downer, but it was really sad that these poor folks, had been buried and if their loved ones had saw that, it would just be crushing for them to see that.
Absolutely.
The remains all open and just kind of twisted around and grave robbers would come through and it's one of those things where it's like there's a lot of cool stuff, but we've seen a lot of really horrific stuff too. So, but all in all, it was an experience that we couldn't take enough pictures. We couldn't take enough video, and it's one of those places where you have to see it for yourself to really believe how intense it was.
Right.
It sounds like it. And I'm a big guy for cemeteries. There's something morbidly beautiful about the entire situation.
I hate cemeteries.
I always find them to be very peaceful, but I worked as a mortician for a little while, so it's not.
Well, I'm pretty much afraid of my own shadow sometimes, so it's okay. I don't like they keep trying to get me to do stuff like the Ouija board and stuff, but I'm the consummate don't come near me with that stuff.
Hey, you did get your tarot read though. I'm very proud of you.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just Jason's turn next.
So when it comes to cryptids, now we live in Humboldt County, Northern California, like a little town called Eureka. I don't know if you're familiar with the area at all, but Willow Creek's up here. Have you ever been up this area to look for Bigfoot at all?
No, I haven't, but that definitely is on my bucket list for sure.
Goodness.
I've been out here for a long time, and I spent a lot of times in the woods, and I have never personally had any reason to believe in Bigfoot. And then someone I know who is a very staunch person, I asked him, "Oh, you believe in Bigfoot?" And he says, "Absolutely." And he doesn't believe in anything else. So he's like, "I've seen him. I've been around him. He's from that area, grew up there." And so I was like, okay, sometimes there's some people that say something to you and you kind of have to rethink everything that you knew before. It's a whole different mindset. But I know you've done some other hunts for like bipedal hominids. So what's some of the better ones of those? How many do you think you've been on?
Oh gosh. Well, I've done local here. We got the Sierra Nevada mountain range here, and we're not too far from Yosemite, and I've trekked around Kings Canyon. I've trekked around, I've trekked Mount Whitney, and done some looking, and and it's, we've found some pretty interesting stuff. Nothing outrageous, but I've heard there's been a lot of activity even down here and even farther south of here, actually. But nothing like, of course, what we've heard up north, where near you guys, or even further. My dad. Well, let me finish your question first. The one that we did in Argentina was pretty cool. That was kind of an investigation where things were kind of all going bad at the same time when we're out doing the investigation at night. We're all getting ticks. Josh ended up getting Lyme disease from one of the tick bites. Oh yeah, it was bad news, man. He was sick. And we had some pretty scary moments where we weren't sure what we were going to do. There's real danger of bears there, and just the terrain itself was really a hard spot to get to. We had to get first we had bikes, we had motorbikes that got us so far, and then we ended up having to get on horseback. Just like taking pack trips up in the High Sierra. Some places you only get to by horse. Or foot, on 2 feet. So it's pretty treacherous landscape and terrain, and very, very dangerous. Really rocky, a lot of shale, a lot of loose shale, a lot of steep loose shale inclines. And I took a fall. I took many falls, but it was really dangerous. And then we felt like something was stalking us the whole night. So that was a pretty intense one for me. I think I'll remember that one for a very long time.
Absolutely. The High Sierras, High Sierras is like a dangerous place.
The local one here in Sierra Nevada wasn't as intense or it was pretty mellow. But I was going to say my father, he was an engineer, mechanical engineer, and he designed a lot of apparatus and he designed logging machinery for a company called FMC. So he went up to the Pacific Northwest quite a bit and into Canada. And that's all big logging country. And of course, he'd go up there for meetings and to see the logging machinery work and test it out. And even he would say, I was up there this last week and there was some stuff we heard out in the woods that I've never heard before. And my dad was an Eagle Scout. He knows the local wildlife. He knows. He could point out animal snacks to me that I had no idea what it was. Different kinds of scat, and could tell exactly what animal it was. By no means a professional tracker, but he knew what basic animals were there. And he's like, Rex, I don't know what the hell that was in the mountains that we heard out there in the woods. So it kind of freaked him out. But kind of on a similar note, my great grandfather was an engineer as well, and he designed and headed the construction of the White Pass Railroad in the Yukon.
Oh, wow.
And even I remember reading some of his manuscripts in his journal and his letters to my grandfather, and he said that the camps, the railroad camps up there in the Yukon area, they had people going missing. They had reported seeing an animal that looked like a bear, but it wasn't. If you could put it like they didn't know what it was. And they're all familiar with the area. They know what moose. There's lots of moose up there, and elk and bear, and they're like, this is not something that we're familiar with. And reading that in his manuscript is saying how some of the railroad crews were scared to even go out there and camp and build was kind of cool just to hear that. That's something you kind of hear in a movie. You know what I mean?
Oh.
But just kind of a side note that was kind of cool. And I really only discovered that about a year and a half ago. Was when we were going through my father passed away, and we're going through some of his belongings, and we discovered these old letters and journals. So yeah, kind of a cool little thing
That's awesome.
we discovered.
That's really cool. It's another one of those moments of serendipity there where you're already involved in this stuff, and then you happen across some letters.
In my life, It's interesting. In my life, you mentioned bears. I never thought that bears would be such a big problem in someone's life, but it sounds like bears are a big problem in your day to day.
Oh, huge. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
We get mountain lions in town more than we get bears anymore. We used to get bears pretty good in Eureka, but now it's mostly.
You know
mostly
what?
cats.
We still get them over there in the cutting area.
That's because
Yeah.
the truck drivers keep taking them out like they're assassins. Or
Hey,
something.
hey, you leave us alone.
So, so you're still active in investigating and stuff on your own time. That sounds pretty cool.
Oh yeah, for sure. In fact, I'm going to be going up to the hills probably in October, and when it starts cooling down a little bit here, and we'll head over to Lone Pine area and do some looking out.
That's really cool, man. Like I like that you kept with it. Are you working on anything show wise now, or what do you got going on project wise?
Yeah, I was on a couple projects that we actually kind of put on standby for right now.
Okay.
Because some of the legislation and with the new president and whatnot, some of the rules and regulations are changing, involving the topics that we're doing on our shows, one of our shows. So yeah, everything's been kind of put on hold for the last since November. So,
Funny how that happens.
We'll see, but it's not gone, definitely not forgotten. Just kind of put on a hiatus for right now.
That's cool. I'm glad that you're still around doing it, man.
Absolutely.
I couldn't fathom doing this for a long period of time, but like I said, I'm kind of a chicken when it comes to all things paranormal. The one thing that the King Tut thing, going to Egypt,
That's
that is
insane.
That is
awesome.
one thing that I'm just like, that's awe-inspiring to me because I love the idea of going to the Egyptian tombs. I loathe the idea of scorpions.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, all I could think of was like in the movie The Mummy when all those scarabs like eat the guy's face and
Oh yeah,
that is exactly what I was thinking.
I'd be more worried about scarabs than I would scorpions. But
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for like us to open up something and over and like all these a million scarabs are gonna come out and just eat us, like devour us.
oh man,
You're just lucky no mummies were summoned from the dead during your stay there. You're good.
Yeah, exactly.
How many snake bites and bug bites did you have to treat on your tenure on the show?
Oh god, countless, man. I mean, it's not just that, but I mean, Ryder took a spill and she actually ended up fracturing her elbow. And had some pretty serious lacerations. I had to suture up, and I mean, she's got hit in the head. She's by some branches, and took a spill off one of the ATVs, and I mean, Josh got sick from Lyme disease and needed IVs and antibiotics, and I mean, there was just like a variety of crap. I mean, motion sickness and I mean, you name it. It was bad. It was pretty bad.
Now, my question is, was there any point in time through all of that, taking care of everybody, that you just like had a deep sigh moment? You're like, why did you do that? You knew what was going to happen.
I think that happened on just about every single incident. Because I mean, we did so much of that on a daily basis that I was just like shaking my head every day, like, are we really doing this? Like, okay, now we're gonna have to rappel down this hill to get to this next area, to get to where we're going. Oh, really? Oh, this is awesome. Really gonna do this? Isn't there another way down? No, let's just take it this one. This is our only way. Okay, awesome. Let's just do it. And there's cliffs, and we have to whitewater raft, and there's snakes, and we're in the jungles, and there's vipers, deadly vipers, and I mean Panama itself was just like, I think that was my most worrisome episode. That one really stressed me out with the island jungle, or the jungle island prison, and that one in Panama was just like, I mean, they have the snake called the fleur de lance.
Oh yeah.
Which can kill an adult in about 30 minutes from a bite. So I had to do a lot of, what people don't understand is there's a lot of pre-planning that goes into these episodes. For me, when I have a location, I have to find out, is there a medivac? If anything happens, where's the closest antivenom? What kind of snakes are there? Is there antivenoms for all of them? And what's their stock or supply? What's the time? And then what's the time frame until the helicopter gets there from the time we call? What's the flight time to the nearest hospital until they can get the antivenom? There's a lot of pre-planning that goes into it, and it's pretty hectic, especially when you don't speak a lot of the languages.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a nightmare trying to do those logistics and planning. So, it's that one with the snakes, and just knowing that we were cutting it really close. Let me put it that way. I mean, you have about 30 minutes for full-size adults before they're dead from a bite, and by the time they got to hospital, he'd have about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's cutting it really close.
Now with the fleur-de-lis, is there actually an anti-venom for them? I thought there wasn't.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's anti-venom, and they do have some in stock. So
I know that their spit can actually eat your flesh, which is also something to avoid. So
yeah.
I mean,
not a nice critter.
It almost kind of seems that Panama might not be the paradise city from all the snakes.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know what that reference
I
was.
don't
No?
know.
No.
Oh,
Sorry.
come on! Get out of here, you guys.
We did have a question
Come
for you in
on.
chat, Rex.
Sure.
Someone wants to know: did you guys actually eat the things that people gave you, and did it make you ill?
Yes.
Green
and
vodka.
yes.
So what's the worst thing someone fed you that made you sick on the show?
And did you just stop and say, "Why the hell are you putting that in your mouth?"
For a couple reasons, it was we were fed bull penis in Egypt, so you can imagine that there was a couple reasons why I was saying, "Why am I putting this in my mouth?"
Just the psychological effect behind it. I think I'll just starve to death.
Yeah, exactly. And according to our contacts there, that's a delicacy, but I'm not sure how much they're kind of screwing with us on that. Like, I don't think they eat this here.
Stick with Americans. Let's tell them we like bull dick.
Here's some guano for you.
Super rare here. Trust us. We love you. We're giving this to you because we love you.
Exactly.
So, what's the worst country?
Hold on. I have to ask this question.
Okay.
Are you sure that at any point in time during your visits, they didn't just stop and say, you think that they get into a meeting and they know you're showing up and they say, okay, what can we say that we eat as a delicacy to screw with these people? And then they just feed it to you.
I think that's exactly how it goes. I need to sit down and have a meeting before we get there and be like, what's the grossest thing we could feed these guys?
It's a whole country full of Joe Rogans.
Like, come on, guys. And people just start throwing shit out, like, bull penis. Oh, that's what I was talking about. That's perfect. And we'll just tell them it's a delicacy. They're not going to know.
Back guano. They'll love it.
Oh, yeah.
The one to beat us back one. What do we got? Bull penis it is.
Well, now, are you sure you don't make a camel penis?
Oh, God. Oh, God.
I don't know what would be more disturbing if they just tried to give me one of the humps on a plate. Eat this, or you've offended my entire people.
You had a question.
Hey, guys, I would love to stay on more. I got to run right now. Something just came up with my fam, so
No problem.
I thank you so much for having me on, guys. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming on, man.
I hope you can have me on again.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
anytime
absolutely.
you want, because I know you got more stories. So we'll have to get you up here to do a Bigfoot investigation with us.
That would be awesome. That would be amazing, man.
All right, Rex, thank you for your time. We'll talk to you. Have a good one.
Sorry to cut it short.
No worries.
Okay, bye-bye.
Letter X.
Well, that was
awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, not the hanging out because we had to cut the conversation short, but that was awesome that he even called, especially with all our technical difficulties at the beginning of this episode.
I was scared of ghosts before. I was scared of ghost hunting before. Now he is maybe more afraid of the bear situation.
So one thing that's come from the show is Jack is no longer worried about ghosts because they all live in Thailand when they'll strangle you.
And on top of that, there will be bears no matter where I go.
This is so true.
That was cool, dude. He had some great stories. I
really
hope he comes back on, man. Maybe
Absolutely.
next time we'll have better non-technical difficulties.
Speaking of which, we need to make a memo so that everybody knows that like 5 minutes of it's like freaking echoey.
Yeah,
That way people don't just go, oh my gosh,
you know,
you're
the
like
first
that.
5 minutes. We'll get there eventually. It's
We'll figure
kinda
it
how
all
we
out.
roll here.
And we want to thank Facebook particularly for changing everything at the last
Yeah, thanks. That's for you. And I don't mean that sarcastic.
Yeah, no, we're not sarcastic at all.
So, yeah. I don't know. You guys gonna watch the eclipse?
Yeah.
Did you buy eclipse glasses?
Probably
No.
not.
Don't watch the eclipse.
No, I'm just gonna use a regular
What?
CD like I've done for the last.
This is
I don't
not.
know.
You've never seen one of these eclipses.
That's
The last one
a
happened in the
lunar
70s.
eclipse you're
Oh,
talking
well,
about.
then
This is a solar eclipse.
Yeah,
What do you
This
know?
will burn
What do
your
you know?
eyeballs.
What do you know? Maybe I haven't seen it.
You won't even feel your eyeballs burning out of your head.
I was
I'm pretty sure you
debating.
can still use like a CD, like.
No, you
I
got to
think
use
so.
like a pinhole box thing. There's like, so you look it up online, but don't buy,
Yeah.
guys. Amazon had a huge recall. If you bought your eclipse glasses from Amazon, make sure they're actually eclipse glasses and not the ones that Amazon was coerced into getting.
If
That's
you
amazing.
end up going blind,
I
you can't watch
was
the show.
debating on whether or not I wanted to keep my eyes, so it's kind of a good thing.
And also, guys, there's a warning going out. A couple warnings I want to go over that's been sent out. Don't live stream it because they don't want everybody live streaming and shutting down the networks because they're afraid that's going to happen. It's quite possible it will. It happened when Michael Jackson died. All the text messages and Facebook
Oh my
posts
goodness, yeah.
shut the system down and almost crashed everything.
Okay,
The
so
other
don't
thing I wanna
record
talk
this.
about. The other thing I want to talk about is a very important warning that comes out of South Carolina. Watch out for lizard man if you're in South Carolina because
I'm more worried about bears still. I don't know. Are there bears in South Carolina?
I'm sure there's bears all over the place.
In the Sahara? In the high desert?
Why are we talking about bears? When we're talking about lizard man,
Yeah.
a government agency
All
has
about
come
lizard
out
man.
and said, don't, like, be careful about lizard man, and if you see something, say something, because they don't know how lizard people are going to react during this, if they'll be more active or not. These nefarious lizard folk.
Look, which government agency was this? The Weekly World News?
No, hand me that
Agency?
piece of paper down there. It says, no, it's a legitimate
No, I don't
government
like to.
Are
agency.
you kidding me? A legitimate government?
It's just right down there. It's like a loose piece of
It's
paper.
just
down there.
right there. Just right.
Right
Just keep
right
looking
there.
right there.
Right there.
Right there. We're not pointing at anything. Just right there.
You know what? Don't worry about it. He'll Google it later. You guys can Google it. No, it's dead to me. Anyway.
I can't see the
So
sunglasses
yeah,
are too dark.
go check it out. It's true. They really said that. They also said, watch out for Bigfoot.
There will be no wheel of things Captain is afraid of.
Yes, there should be actually.
Wheel of torture.
Yeah.
The wheel is torture.
Oh, torture! We should do that. That's a great idea.
Perfect.
It's great. I can put it up there and we can spin around.
Why are the Murphy sisters trying to kill me? That's the question here.
Because they love you.
Are they going to put bears on there? Like I have to go pet a bear?
Dump bears?
Yeah. The
That could be
Bears.
anything. We can go to Chicago. They'll have the bears
No,
killed.
no, I'm not going to
Oh
Chicago.
my God! Can I use that as?
Yes, we are going to Chicago.
You know what? As
Oh, you're just not going to go now?
no, as a loyal Packers fan,
I guess
I will
I'll go
not
to
step foot in
Chicago.
Chicago.
I'll go
Look,
to Chicago.
I'm afraid of the
Right.
bears in Chicago, so I'm not going to go there. Lots of bears.
You guys are killing me. There's a lot of cool stuff in Chicago, like gunshot wounds and pizza places. I was getting there. Pizza places and restaurants.
I am kind of wondering about the
Paranormal
pizza
conventions.
places. I keep getting. Nick says that the pizza's the best in Chicago, so we're
He
gonna
does
have
in
to
fact
see.
say
We'll
that.
have to
He
see.
does say that.
Okay, so first off, we think we've discovered some things today. What was it? Thailand sucks.
No, just
no,
outside.
no.
Sorry, not Thailand.
No.
Not Thailand. I meant Panama sucks.
Well, the Florida Lance and all the snake, and there's lots of preparation that goes into
There's
this.
a snake that can spit acid that melts your flesh
I really don't understand how you
and
guys don't get
kills you in 30
Panama
minutes.
reference.
Look,
I think you're mixing two different songs by two different artists, and you think that we're going to put it together in some logical way because you've been drinking all day. We haven't. So, that said,
This may be true.
next,
Like 80% sure.
so next week, we have Jordan on from the Nighttime Podcast. We're going to talk about Oak Island, the mystery that is, in fact, Oak Island. That'll be fun. And you should go check out his podcast. We're going to link Rex's stuff up here later. I still have to go back to camping.
we hope you guys appreciate the new camera and that you can actually read everything. I mean, I can actually read the things in front of us. Before it was just a white blurry.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, you can read it.
I
Like
actually see the books that I read.
Real
Yeah.
Ghost, Restless,
That's
good.
Restless S, and Haunted. I don't.
Are we
know what the
really
hell that is.
filling the rest of our time with you just randoms?
No, I was
Pretty
just-
much.
just saying.
Pretty much. You know what though? If you do want to contact Rex and you want to actually befriend him, you know, like we said before,
Check
you
him
can
out on
contact
Twitter.
him on Twitter
And send him the middle
Rex
finger so he knows
_Williams, and yeah, most definitely send
that
him
way you
the
know
middle
we
finger.
did it.
It'll be perfect.
I really like that guy. He's cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. I can't wait.
He put up with us. That's
man.
awesome.
Yeah, no, most
So,
definitely.
that is not
Once again, here we go with the
Alarm's back.
I turned those
perfect.
off. I don't
It's
know
like
why they
it's
turned
like a
them off.
paranormal alarm.
It is a paranormal alarm.
Oh, you know what? Real quick, I actually have a paranormal story.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
it happened last night actually. So we're all just kind of hanging out, and me and my roommates, we were all just hanging out, having a good time and everything, and we're outside, we're smoking, smoking cigarettes and stuff like that.
I'm
And
glad you clarified.
thank you. Yeah, I'm glad I clarified too, because we're smoking cigarettes and having a couple of beers. And, I woke up at 6 o'clock this morning. I went to bed at 1. Like, I wasn't hungover at all. Like, so a lot of us didn't really drink that heavily last night. And but we're all kicking it, having a really good time. And across the room, there's nobody inside the kitchen. And across the kitchen, all of a sudden, a charger just randomly drops. Like, it's been sitting there for months, and I'm talking months. And it just all of a sudden, it just leaps off the counter and just flies like freaking, I don't know, probably about 2-3 feet on the ground.
Do you think like a fish that was trying to commit suicide? Is that the potential here?
There was no fish around.
Was it a cell phone
Yes.
charger?
I was just
Yeah,
making
it
a joke.
wasn't a cell phone charger, but it was like an AC charger for
Like an
like
adapter kind of
Scully
thing?
here or something like that, And it just all of a sudden it just like it was
Was it
sitting
plugged
on.
in?
No, it wasn't. It was just sitting there, and like I said, it had been sitting there for months. Like nobody's ever touched it, nothing else.
Huh.
And then all of a sudden, just last night, it just decided that it wanted to go from here to the floor, and it was kind of.
Did
was
it
odd.
did it
was
arc or
strange.
did it just go like?
Maybe it wanted to live its own life. You don't know what it was
Did it
gonna
what?
do.
Did it like do an arcing thing or did it just fall?
Yeah, we didn't actually see it, but we heard it go. Like,
Well, then somebody could have just like come in the house and knocked it
that's
over.
the thing. That's the thing. Everybody else was outside. There was nobody else inside the house. Everybody was legitimately outside. There was
Okay.
nobody else.
Did you
there.
hear it shout freedom as it fell?
I
I want to say yes, but no, it did not.
I think we can all agree, and I don't want to say it's aliens, but it's aliens.
It's alien. It's alien.
You know what?
Extraterrestrial.
I will not concur with you on this.
Damn it.
And I'm
Why?
going.
Do you have more stuff going on in the house? Than that?
No. I just have a better evaluation of it, and I'm pretty sure it's actually Bigfoot.
Oh my god. It's the dog, man. I have no idea what to say to you about that, but
Y'all are killing me here.
I can't imagine what that was like though. To get back to Rex for a second, I can't imagine what it's like to walk into Pripyat and Chernobyl. Just because you got to think about it.
Oh, dude, no.
You're afraid of
I
like
wouldn't do that.
radiation,
No.
and then you show up.
And he's a
place.
medic, so he knows.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's going
Hold
to
on.
kill you
I
if you
mean,
get
look.
too much of it.
The radiation's scary. That's what you got to be thinking about. Then I can't imagine what it's like walking into Pripyat. Just seeing the fact that this is a giant city, hundreds of places, not a soul in sight. Just quiet, dead quiet. Nothing around, and you know things are dying around here, like plants are dying, stuff is happening, but you can't hear anything, maybe some wolves, maybe some animals, but you're just walking into a place that's dead still.
Why did you say bears?
Bears.
There are
probably
bears.
bears.
There are the bears.
The
Pripyat
bears.
The chemically induced radioactive still kill you with mutated limbs bears.
Do you think they're cyborgs?
No.
Okay, good. I don't have to worry about bears.
If they do, they'll probably wear my cyborg glasses.
That work.
The Cyclops glasses.
But anyways, could you just imagine that, like walking into a place that's like hell, I don't know what the size. I don't quite know what the size of Chernobyl was, like how big the city was. But I know it had like tall buildings, like skyscraper buildings. I don't know if there were skyscrapers with large
There were
buildings.
tenement buildings. yeah,
Tenement
tons of them,
buildings, and just knowing that there's no one there, just that stillness, and knowing that there's no one there to help you. There's no one there who there might be people that could hurt you potentially, but there's a million places they could be that you can't see. But on top of that, just knowing that there used to be people in this area, and now it's just dead still. And it's just that quiet, that eerie, like, because that's what I was hearing about people who had been there. It's just this eerie quietness that's just completely unsettling. That gets into your skin and just kind of like puts your hackles up and makes you think, what the hell is happening in this
So
place?
it's really, really quiet. There's not a lot of people around. I think I'm gonna go to Pripyat.
It's that unnatural stillness that it makes me kind of like I'm totally love to go there, but at the same time I'm thinking I would be freaked out like hell to go to that place. Like just because at first you're like excited, then you get in there and you're like, what did I just get myself into? Like that's got to be the question some people ask when they go there. Like, what did I just get myself into? All these buildings to search potentially, and surely they can only search like one building at a time. Maybe one or two buildings at a visit. But I mean, that's just it. Just the thought of it freaks me out.
Yeah, I agree. So that was cool of him to come on the show, though. Thanks again, Rex.
Yep.
Don't rewatch that episode, Rex. I'm sorry.
It was great.
We'll do better next time.
Ignore the
It
first
was
5
great.
minutes.
That
That's all you
first
got
5
to
minutes was terrible. Guys, we're going to call it an evening for the night. We'll see you next week as we welcome Jordan Bone Party for the Nighttime Podcast. Talk about Oak Island.
Yay.
As always, I'm your intrepid host, Jay, and with me is...
What was that again? Super fantastically awesome? Yeah.
and
Paco.
yeah. Guys, see ya. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.
Bye, Vanishers.
Am I not going to do my thing today?
Do your thing, quick. It's still
They
recording.
can't see me.
They can hear you.
Goodbye, everybody.